What up, y'all? So, this podcast is specifically for content creators, but even more specifically for YouTubers, and I want to address a phrase. There's a catchphrase a lot of YouTubers use where they say, subscribe to my channel. You know what I mean? I find it better to say subscribe if I'm providing you value. You know what I mean? Like, if you hate my content, don't subscribe. It's not for you, And I want to ask you, to the people that are always asking for a subscription, you got to ask yourself, what's in it for the people subscribing? Because if they hit the bell notification, like they have 1,000 distractions as it is, and you become 1,001 distractions to them unless you're, providing the type of value that they want. You know what I mean? You might not even know if people like your channel, like your content. So when you say a generic phrase like subscribe to my channel, there's no courtesy behind that of asking the person, yo, do you even like my content? Like, you know what I mean? Like, what do you think of it? Like, it's almost no different. Give me a second. It's almost no different than when people are like, hey, join my business opportunity. And they haven't even asked a single question. Like, how do you know the person you're trying to recruit is even into your business model? Or it's for them, like you haven't asked them any qualifying questions to see if your content is something that they would even like. You know what I mean? It's impossible to gauge for real what a person likes and what they don't like without having honest conversations, asking honest questions like, yo, what content do you like? You know what I mean? And then measuring their responses based on the content that you create to gauge whether or not you think they would actually like your stuff. You know what I mean? It's much more powerful, like, to want people to subscribe to you because you feel like you're saying something that's worth listening to, you know what I mean? Or you're doing something that's worth whatever it is, A lot of YouTubers, they're in it for self. Like, it benefits them if you subscribe. It benefits them if you hit the bell notification, because as soon as they put out a video and they start instantly getting viewers, right? YouTube is going to make their video go viral because it's going to make it more relevant to a lot more people, right? And then it's going to get a lot more viewers because the bell notification is causing so many people to see the video and start watching it within the first 10 minutes of it being uploaded, which, you know what I mean? It adds to it going viral, which benefits the YouTuber, but it doesn't benefit the audience. You know what I mean? A lot of the times people be like, yo, just subscribe or whatever. And they don't have your own, like, they don't have your interest at heart. They have your own interest at heart because they're trying to get paid off of off of your attention, and nothing wrong with trying to get paid. You know what I mean? But it's a much more courteous thing to ask, yo, like, what type of content do you like? Like, I know one person, right? He doesn't particularly like my music, and that's fine. After I showed him a couple songs, he complained about a couple. I just stopped showing him content. Like, no big deal. Like, you don't have to like my music, right? So we don't even talk about music, or at least my music anyways. We'll talk about other artists. And I've heard the stuff that he likes. I don't like any of the things that he like. You know what I mean? Like, the stuff that he like is pretty much not for me, Give me a second. So yeah, I don't want nobody to subscribe to me. Like, nobody. Unless you think I'm doing something for you. You know what I mean? Unless you think that my content is really worth listening to. You know what I mean? So I want to ask you, people that want to be a YouTuber, would you rather 2,000 people subscribe to your channel because you asked them to, or 2,000 people subscribe to your channel because they want to, like, because they personally want to? Because you'll get a much greater return from the people that do things because they want to be doing it. You know what I mean? We're always trying to position people to get them to do what we want them to do, without giving people space to see what it is that they prefer to be doing. You know what I mean? Like, we try to demand love out of people. We try to demand consideration. We try to demand YouTube subscribers. You know what I mean? But I think it's much better to show people what you're doing and then give them space to see what choice they make. You know what I mean? What's up, Sean? What's going on, bro? Give them space to see what choice they're going to make, right? Because people don't owe you a subscription. People don't owe you their time. And time is the most precious thing you have on the planet. You know what I mean? The money's precious too, but you could always get that back. You can't get a single minute back once it's gone. You know what I mean? Like, the reason that I personally hate text messaging is because if I have 50 contacts, let's say that I talk 5 minutes with 50 people per day, I have no idea how many hours that is in a day. But if you could add that up for a year's time, all that time that gets wasted on text messages that I could have spent doing things that I actually care about. Like I care nothing about a text message. You know what I mean? I'm probably gonna meet a lot of people. Well, I have met a lot of people who they make that out to be an issue, right? Like I tell people I hate texting, and then when they get completely ignored by me, they get surprised, and I'm like, I told you, bro. Like you send me a text, it's a 90% chance you won't get a response. Like I'm not into that. You can give me a phone call though. I'm a phone person, you know. And then everyone has their own things that they're into, but I just much rather because most people that text like they don't even have anything to say. There's just all text messages sound the same pretty much. It's like, yo, you know, how you doing? What you doing? What you been up to? What you been? And it's like, bro, like, what's the point? You know what I mean? So when it comes to text messages, a lot of times there's nothing like people don't respect my time, right? So I make people respect my time, like by saying, like, we have to get on the phone if we're gonna talk. You know what I mean? Or we have to get straight to the point because I don't have time to like bunch of people asking me what I'm doing, what I've been up to, like, you know, and it has no relevancy to them or to me. Like, it doesn't improve my life to have that conversation. It doesn't improve their life to have that conversation. So similarly, you know, a lot of YouTubers, they're gonna be like, yo, subscribe, you know, and without having the courtesy to ask, yo, only subscribe if you like my content. You know what I mean? Because I'd much rather you subscribe if you feel like I'm providing something of value to you. And I can't decide for you what's valuable. You know what I mean? Like I might create music that I think is hella valuable. It's hella good. Like every artist create music that they think is good. It's always like that, pretty much, right? I mean, sometimes you have insecure artists that they criticize their own work all the time. But for the most part, if you're the artist, you created your own work. Of course, you're going to think it's good. You're the YouTuber. You upload your own videos, right? You edit them. Like, of course, it's good to you, right? And there's so many people that they want a subscription because, like, they want to gauge how much people like them. You know, they desperately want to be liked. You know what I mean? Instead of just trying to find the right audience. You know what I mean? Whatever you do, the right audience, it does exist for you somewhere. Like I say this all the time because it's important, but Minecraft is not for everybody. Grand Theft Auto 5 is not for everybody. Halo, Call of Duty is not for everybody, but it is for millions of people. You know what I mean? So as a content creator, I don't know what you guys do, or you know what I mean? Like, and whenever you put out content, there's a chance someone's gonna dislike your content, right? You might put out a blog post on Facebook about how much you hate your life, right? And then you might get a comment that you don't agree with and you feel like people shouldn't have posted that comment. Like maybe they get on your page and they're tired of you complaining. They're like, dude, you always complain. Like, why don't you have gratitude? Why don't you like, you know what I mean? And you might hate their comment, you know, but that's the risk. You always run the risk of getting comments that you don't want to see when you put out content. You know what I mean? So you might put out a blog post and hate the responses you're getting. But if you don't want any responses, don't put out the blog post. Don't put out the video. Don't get in front of a camera. You know what I mean? Like, because people are going to call you ugly. They're going to tell you you're suck. They're going to tell you you should quit. You know what I mean? Like, you should pack it in and never do YouTube again, or you never do whatever it is that you do anymore. You know what I mean? So, yeah, man. Anyways, so yeah, this it's like asking for a subscription to me. It's almost like asking for an apology. I would never ask, no matter how much someone violates me, I will never ask you to feel sorry. You know what I mean? Like, that's up. Give me a second. I'm never gonna ask you to feel sorry. Like that's weird. It's hella weird when people ask for an apology. You know what I mean? Like I feel bad, so therefore, if I want to feel better, I need you to have remorse for your actions. I need you to feel bad for what you did to me, so that I could feel better. Like what the hell is that? Like, you know what I mean? Like I let people apologize on their own time whenever they feel like they should apologize. You know what I mean? Like, but I can't decide when that moment's gonna be for the person. You know, to me, that's the same thing like asking for a subscription. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna decide for you that my content is valuable and you should like it. Like, nah, that's up to the consumer. You know what I mean? Me as the creator, me as the artist, I could only put out the work that I believe in, and the right people will gravitate towards it. You know what I'm saying? But I can't decide. What's up, Joshua? I can't decide for you that I have good content. You know, that's your decision. And too many content creators are trying to decide for their marketplace. Well, you should like my food, you know, if I'm a chef. You should like my music if I'm an artist. You know what I mean? Like, and so yeah, man, someone's gonna like it, someone's gonna hate it, you know? Like, there's foods the taste incredible that somebody's just not gonna like. You know what I mean? There's music that I think is incredible that some people are not gonna like, you know? So I can't think of one thing that's for everybody. I don't think any one thing is for everybody. You know what I'm saying? So anyways, when you ask for a subscription, like make sure you have a conversation with people about the content that they consume. Like, cause me personally, I only like 5 different things or 6 different things. There's only like 6 things that I believe in. You know what I mean? So there's not too many people that I would subscribe to. Like PewDiePie, that's not my type of content. Cat videos, that's not my type of content. So if I meet someone that likes making videos about cats, I'm sorry, like you don't deserve my subscription because you don't deserve my time. You don't deserve my bell notification. Like, you know what I mean? Life is distracting as it is, and I don't need a random person telling me to subscribe to. I mean, feel free, like freedom of speech, right? You can say whatever you want. If you want to tell me to subscribe, cool. But just know that if your content is not worth my time, according to my subjective point of view, if it's not worth my time consuming, I'm not subscribing, you know what I mean? So, and I think that's only fair to the consumer. But the thing is that pisses off a lot of artists because artists have a sense of entitlement, like, you know, and they just so insecure, so desperately want to be liked. You know what I mean? Nothing wrong with wanting to be liked. But once you have a million people that like you, now what? Like now, what are you going to do with all that attention you have? You know what I mean? Nothing wrong with wanting a Lamborghini or a house, a mansion or couple $1,000,000, but now that you have all that stuff, like now what, you know? And maybe that's why a lot of people, when they get rich, they get depressed because they set the plateau so high and then they reached it, and then they have no goal after that transcends beyond the previous goal that they set. You know what I mean? So you always got to set more and more goals. And as a content creator, put out the content because you believe in it, because you like it, because you like being a YouTuber. You know what I mean? Of course, yeah, find a way to monetize, but do it because you like it. Because if you do it to be liked by other people, you're going to be disappointed when the people that you think should be liking you don't like you. And then you're going to think that someone, just because someone known you for 7 years, 8 years, and they're your friend from college or high school, that they should subscribe. Nah, like nobody should subscribe to your content unless they like your content. You know what I mean? So yeah, man. So anyways, for me personally, I don't want any of you to subscribe to me unless you like the content, you know? Like if it's worth your time, then that's when you should do it, you know? And in my opinion, like, because I don't want a bunch of people like subscribing just because I asked them to, because then they think they're doing me a favor. You know what I mean? And my content, it's not about me. Like I do this stuff. I do these speeches. I give these seminars and whatever, because I believe in this content. You know, I believe that this is going to have impact on somebody's life. You know what I mean? What's up, Joshua? So I believe that, you know, the things that I say, I feel like I'm doing the right things. So I do it because I believe in it. Can you imagine if I was pandering to likes, subs, subscriptions? You know what I mean? Like, it would be awesome if Instagram for like 1 week, if you didn't know how many people liked your content, because then you wouldn't have nothing to gauge on, and then you would be forced to be yourself. You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of people in this world, they notice one Instagram post, it gets 300 likes, and then their next one gets like 112 likes. And then they feel like they have to do the thing that gets them 300 likes. And it's like, bro, be yourself. Like, put out the content that makes you happy, you know? So if there was no metric that tells you how many people like your stuff, then you wouldn't know what to pander to. Like, and it would just force you to be yourself. You know what I mean? I think that would be awesome. Give me a second. So you can get the money, get famous. But they shouldn't force you to like their content. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. And a lot of content creators, like I said, it benefits them if you subscribe. It benefits them if you hit the bell notification. It benefits, but how does it benefit you unless their content benefits you? Because every piece of content that you consume is stealing your time and forcing well, not forcing you, but your attention is now on a screen watching one thing when you could have been watching, let's say, your finances are terrible. Let's say your marriage is failing. Let's say you don't know how to have a relationship with your kids. Let's say you're extremely introverted. You want to learn how to be extroverted. You're never going to learn how to be extroverted watching a bunch of cat videos on YouTube. You know what I mean? So you see how, like, you know, and usually it's always entertainment that stands in the way of people becoming the person they want to be, people obtaining the goals they want to obtain, having the success they want to have. Because, you know, a lot of people, they do, like, a lot of people typically, they might sleep 8 hours a day, work 8 hours a day, entertain themselves like 6.5 hours a day. And then the other hour and a half, they might spend that time, you know, bathing, eating, spending time with their kids, blah, blah, blah. but that's all your time gone. You know what I mean? That means whatever books you could be reading, whatever podcasts you could be listening to, whatever content you could be consuming that actually makes you a better human being, like that content will never be consumed because you might text 75 people per day. You know what I mean? You might like, you know what I mean? On top of that, you might watch a bunch of videos about God knows what. I mean, I don't know. And then play a bunch of video games, which, nothing wrong with having a form of escapism. I understand like people need their things, they need their vices or whatever. But you know what I mean? The thing is, there's people, I've met people that they want to have Bill Gates money, but they're watching 6 hours of videos per day that have nothing to do with them building a business. You know what I mean? So it's like, how are you supposed to get to the thing you want to get to when everything in this world is stealing your time? Everything is a distraction. You know what I mean? So the reason I hate text messaging so much is because I will not allow you or anyone else to steal my time. You know what I mean? And I see people walking through New York City, man, looking like zombies, like glued to their phone. They don't even see when they bump into a random pedestrian. Like, you know what I mean? Everybody's bumping into each other because they're not looking ahead. They're looking at their screen and stuff. And, if people want to be that way, cool. Like, who am I to judge? But I do not want that for my life. Like, I don't want to be a zombie. If everyone wants to be a zombie, cool. Like, I'm okay with that. You know what I'm saying? But, like, I meet a lot of people that get mad that I don't like texting. It's like, bro, well, look, either we're going to get on the phone or we're not going to have a friendship. Like, you know what I mean? Like, because I'm not into the texting stuff. But similarly with content creators, certain content I'm not into, like sometimes artists, they be like, yo, here, check out my new song. It's fire. You're going to like it. Like, how do you know that it's fire? Like, it's fire according to your subjective point of view, but do you know that for the audience? Do you know it's fire for them? Because like, I've had songs that a lot of people like, and I've had the same song that other people didn't like. There's another thing with content that I want to touch on briefly. I want to talk about the length of your content. People are going to try to tell you that you should keep it to a minimum. 5-minute videos, 3-minute videos. People have short attention span. Good content is good content. Good content doesn't have a time limit. I've seen 2-hour videos that I wish to God was 2 hours longer. I've seen 30-second videos that I wish didn't exist. You know what I mean? Because it stole my time. Like, so you can't put a gauge on good content. Like if a Star Wars movie came out right now and if it was 9 hours, right? And it was fire for like 9 hours and the fans really liked it. Yo, people would go watch a 9-hour movie right now. Like they'd go do it, man. Like, or 5-hour movie. They do it. Why? Because it's good content. You know what I mean? But imagine 9 hours of bullshit. Like, complete waste of your time. Let's say out of 9 hours, 2 hours were worth your time, right? And it was 7 hours of filler and a bunch of junk to just pass up the time. Like, then it wouldn't be a good movie. Then it wouldn't be a good piece of content. You know what I mean? The longest song I ever wrote in my life, I have a song that's nine and a half minutes. No chorus, just straight rapping, like all the way through, 9.5 minutes. I met one person that thinks that song is way too damn long. And as they were listening to it, probably couldn't wait for it to be over. Met another person who was like, damn, I know that song is 9.5 minutes, but I wish it was longer. You see what I mean? So like, it all depends. I can't gauge my content, how good it is based on how many people like it. I'm gonna just do it because I love it, and since I love music, I'm never gonna get sad that you don't like it or a bunch of people don't. I don't give a, like, you know what I mean? Who cares? Like, if you don't like it, it's not for you. And I'm cool with that. I'm cool with people not liking my stuff. You know what I mean? And so to make this podcast relevant to the entrepreneurs that follow me, I want to tell you guys, like, sometimes you're going to get into a business and you think that your family and friends, those are going to be the first people that you try to recruit into your business opportunity. Those are the last people that care about your business. You know what I mean? Most of the time, family and friends are the hardest people to convert because they know you personally. They're like, yo, who is this person, like, thinking that they're a businessman now? Because they know you as whatever you were before you decided to do business. You know what I mean? They know you as sloppy, arrogant, not responsible, procrastinator. You know what I mean? Like, they know you as so many other things because they know you so personally. You think they're going to take you serious as a business person? Like, I know a guy who his own mother told him he was going to fail. You know what I mean? Now he has $10,000 months. And guess what? His own mother asked him, what's your website link? So I could check out your business opportunity. All his family, all his uncles, aunts, cousins, everybody who doubted him, now they're so interested in knowing, what his website is, and I can't fault these people, right? Like, I don't even think he's mad at them, but that's how the world works. Like, people don't believe in you until you give them something to believe in, and a lot of times that's just how it is. So there's going to be a lot of people when I get famous that they didn't give a damn about me prior to that, but all of a sudden now they care. And I can't position myself to be mad at that, because that's how people are. A lot of people are alive for themselves, and they only love you as much as what they could get from you. Like, that's what they love, what they could get out of you. You know what I mean? There's so many people in this world that are going to try to like do things like, they want to underpay you and overwork you. There's two friends right now in the world that are having an argument about, one friend is providing a tremendous amount of value, right? Or he's doing a lot of hard work for the other person. The other person thinks that he shouldn't have to pay him because that's his friend. So based off merit, or not based off merit, based off, I've known you for 10 years, it should be on a house. I shouldn't have to pay you. It's like, bruh, like, you know what I mean? Like, if you provide somebody with anyone who provides another person with a product or service, yeah, they should be compensated. You know what I mean? And, so yeah, man, it's going to be a lot of people, a lot of friends that stop being friends over things like that. People try to exploit each other. People try to get the most out of each other. Like, the best way to get the most out of people is to give them your best, right? And then let the cards fall where they may. Let the chips fall where they may, Like, not everybody's going to consider you. Not everybody's going to subscribe to you. Not everybody's going to do the things, whatever things that you think they should be doing, spend less time thinking that people should be doing things and demand more from yourself than you do from other people. That way that these people that you meet, they won't piss you off because you don't expect anything from them, because you're too busy becoming the best version of yourself to give a damn about how little you're being appreciated by other people. You're not here to be appreciated. You're here to let your light shine before men. You know what I mean? You're here to be, an example to people of what's possible, by you living out your dreams, you know what I mean? Like, so anyways, so yeah, man. So yeah, like, have the courtesy to ask people, do they even like your content, instead of making it sound mandatory as if people have to subscribe to you. Yo, subscribe to my channel for what? Like, what does your channel provide me as a person? Is it going to steal my time? Because I have a lot of things already trying to steal my time. You know what I mean? Like, if I hit that bell notification on your YouTube channel, what's in it for me besides my time being stolen and you getting a view off of me and you being that much closer to making money and monetizing your audience? You know what I mean? Like, you have to ask that, and provide as much value as you can to the audience, right? And then the right people will subscribe. The right people will like your content. I seen a channel on YouTube, ASMR videos. That's not for me, man. Like, I would never, like, if I know a friend that does ASMR, I'm not subscribing to you. I'm sorry. Like, I'm not into watching someone whisper into a microphone politely. Like, it's not my thing. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not into, I seen a channel where a guy, he'll line up like 25 watermelons. He'll put them in a straight line and shoot a bullet through them and try to figure out how many watermelons did the bullet penetrate before it actually got lodged into one of the watermelons. Like, and he'll do that with a lot of things. Like, he'll shoot bullets like he'll line up sticks of butter, like bricks of butter, like 25, 35 bricks of butter, and shoot that as well and see where does the bullet stop. Like, I'm not into that channel, but guess what? This guy has like 1 million subscribers, at least, probably more than that. He has a lot of people tuned into that, you know what I mean? And stuff like that, you know what I mean? Like, I can't judge what type of people, I can't judge what type of content people consume, you know what I mean? But I just know that if you want to become something great, then videos like that stand in the way of you getting to where you want to get to, especially if you consume like 3 hours of that type of content per day, and it has nothing to do with your goals, nothing to do with what you want to do, nothing to do with what you want to become. You know what I'm saying? So nothing wrong with video games, nothing wrong with escapism, nothing wrong with ASMR videos if you're into that shit. But, like, everything in moderation, because all the time that you spend on one thing, all the time you spend doing one thing is time that you could spend doing things that you really want to do. Like, some of you really want to be a millionaire. Some of you really want to quit your job. Some of you really hate your job. Some of you really want to, you know what I'm saying? Like, but you're not positioning yourself to be doing the things that you say that you want to be doing, because you allocate zero time into the things that you say you want to do. You know what I mean? Like, so if you want to be a millionaire, like, what books are you reading on a subject? You know what I mean? What millionaires are you listening to? Like, the best way to be a millionaire is go watch seminars of millionaires speaking about money, right? Because they're the qualified people to teach you about it. Go listen to a lot of rich people talk you'll get ideas about what they did. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people who have success, they want to tell you what they did to get there. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people don't want to keep it a secret. They want to find an apprentice as quickly as possible to give him all that information so that they could go out into the world and do the same thing. You know what I mean? A lot of people have a perception that rich people are just hoarding their wealth and hoarding the knowledge that leads to the wealth. You know what I mean? And a lot of that's not true, because competent people, they want to teach other people how to be competent. You know what I mean? So anyways, before you ask somebody before you ask somebody to subscribe to you, ask them, do they like your content? Ask them, is your content worth their time? Ask them, do they get value out of it? You know, and then ask them, like, am I just like, do you get value out of me, or am I just another distraction to you? You know what I mean? Because you don't know how many bell notifications they already subscribe to. You don't know how many channels they're already sub to, and how many things they already got going on with their time. You know what I mean? So it's almost like intrusive, right, to assume that people should just subscribe just because they're friends with you, or you know what I mean? Like, so yeah, like I said, and I'm gonna end it on this note, something I said already, but it's no different than asking for an apology. Like, I can't demand that you be sorry to me for something that happened 2 years ago. Like, that's up to you within your own heart, within your own like conscience, to, if you feel like apologizing for something, you can, but I'll never put pressure on another human being to make them feel like they should feel sorry. You know what I mean? Because if I ask you to apologize to me, how the hell do I know that you're apologizing to me because you mean it, or rather because I asked you to? You know what I mean? If people are going to apologize to me for anything, I'd much rather them say it because they mean it, and not because they feel like they have to, or because it's the right thing to do. You know what I mean? There's a lot of things that are the right thing to do, but unless you want to do it, actually, I want to end on this note. I got one friend who I see him do so many good things for people and then complain about nothing being done back for him, and then he has a lot of remorse in his heart for doing good things, because he's like, what am I getting in return? Every time someone needs something, I'm there for them. But when I need something, nobody's there. You know what I mean? And that's like killing him. And now he's like, a lot of times he's like, yo, I don't know if I want to continue doing good, considering I get nothing in return from people. And it's really because he got his expectations in people. He thinks that his blessings are supposed to come from people. That's, bro, your blessings come from God. You know what I mean? Like, expect more, like, you know what I mean? Like, let your blessings come from God, because if you think that people are going to have the right morals, the right principles, not everybody functions the same or has the same mindset. The principles that you have, somebody else doesn't give a damn about. And it's a good chance you might be friends with somebody that doesn't give a damn about your principles, about, an eye for an eye, or if I give you money, you should pay me back. If I do this, you should consider me. Like, you know what I mean? So it's better to just be the best version of you, right? Put out all the good into the universe that you can, and let whatever comes back, whatever's going to come back, it's going to come back, and it might not always come back from the person that you did something for, might come back from somebody else. But yeah, man, like, if you sow a harvest, you're going to reap a harvest. So just sow seeds of positivity, because that's the harvest that you reap, eventually. So anyways, yeah, man, I just don't want to see people grow weary in good doing, because they're always considering, man, I do 1,000 things for you and you do one thing for me. And then you get discouraged by doing good things for people, and you feel like you no longer want to do it, because what's in it for me? You know what I mean? Even when we do things for others, it's really for ourselves, because it feels good when they thank us. It feels good when they tell us how much it means that you did them a favor. And now that feeling of instant gratification, a lot of people get high off that supply. You know what I mean? Doing good things for people just to get high off of the thank yous and the applause that they receive from people. You know what I mean? Like, so I don't know, man. So the only way, and here's how you know that when you do good things for people, it's all about receiving a thank you. When you have a self-destructive attitude whenever you don't receive a thank you, that's how you know it's all about the thank you. People be like, oh, it's not about a thank you. It's about virtue. It's about not the virtue. It's about the principle. You know what I mean? It's like, bruh, like, if it's not about the thank you, why do you lose your mind whenever you don't receive one? It proves that it's all about the thank you. You know what I mean? Because if you don't give a damn about a thank you, then you'll do kind things, not caring if they thank you or not, because you did the right thing because you wanted to, not because it was for a thank you. And it's a much powerful thing to do things because you want to create content because you want to, you know what I mean? To create music because you want to, and because you love it. doing things out of love. Like when anything you do it because you want to and because you love it. That's powerful. Much more powerful than doing things because you feel obligated. You know how many obligated Christians there are? The only reason they go to church is because they want to go to heaven and they don't want to go to hell, you know? And you've met a lot of people that they feel obligated to their work, like you've dealt with it in customer service probably. When you talk to other customer service agents, whether it be at AT&T or phone services or like, fast food restaurants, you could see it by the look in these people's face. Like they're not excited to be there at all. You know what I mean? But, if they had any level of enthusiasm for their job, you could tell when you go to certain establishments who's excited to be there working and who's not. And you could see it in their attitude and it reflects, and then like they'll never be able to put in all that they can into a job that they don't like or into an activity that they don't like because they're thinking about how much they hate it. You know what I mean? People that do kind things for others thinking about how much they hate not being thanked and considered and repaid for all the good things they do. You know what I mean? So anyways, so final note, right, to the content creators, don't worry about the people that don't like your stuff and don't subscribe to you. And nobody's obligated to like your stuff. You know what I mean? Just worry about creating more content, making it the best that you can. Study people who put out similar content to you. So in case you need any ideas or you need something to model your style after, and nothing wrong with that. A lot of artists are prideful about, no, I don't want to model my style after, you are a walking compilation of everything that inspires you. Like nothing is in it of itself, nothing is a product of its own self. Everything is inspired by something else. Every human, anyways. All the thoughts that you have, all the belief system. You might think that your belief system is your belief. You got that from somebody. There's a group of people that you identify with to have the same belief system as you. You know what I mean? Like a lot of my music, I sound like a compilation of all the artists that inspire me. And I'm not too prideful to say that. You know what I mean? Like I was really able to embrace my art when I realized that all of my music, you know what I mean? All the content that I create, there's someone that creates similar content, and I'm okay with that. Everybody wants to be so damn original. You're not original. You know what I'm saying? Like, all your ideas, thoughts, like your thought process, there's millions upon millions of people that think the exact same way that you do. You know what I mean? Or, there's probably millions of people that create art the same way that the same creative process you have, they have as well. You know what I mean? Like everyone's dying to be original. And it comes at the expense of their art because they're not willing to draw inspirations from other people, and it keeps them in one lane where their art never revolutionizes itself and it stays stationary and it never changes at all. It's just always the same thing, So I don't know, man. So I'm not scared. For me, musically, I'm not scared to take influences from to be inspired by a country song, by a rock song, by even genres that I know that I probably don't like per se. I might get something from listening to a song from that genre that really inspires me to do a similar hook or some words, a set of words that they say that inspires different thoughts that makes me create a different composition entirely, right? Inspired by a rock song or a song from a genre that I never thought I would have liked, but yet inspired me nonetheless. You know what I mean? So everyone is an inspiration. Everyone is inspired by something to be a certain way. You know what I mean? Like the hateful people, the loving people, like everybody's personality is molded by something, you know what I mean? So, and yeah, and on that note, I want to end this with like either your personality and the things that you're grounded in, it's going to be molded by the injustice of this world and you're going to be a complainer, whining about everything not going your way, and you're going to be a product of everything that was done wrong to you, or you're going to be a product of, the person that you want to become, you know what I mean? You're going to reflect God, you know what I mean? You're going to reflect Jesus or, the principles that you really believe in, and you're going to spend more time becoming the change you want to see in this world and complaining less, not complaining at all about the changes that other people refuse to be making, because it's not your business what other people choose to do with their life. You know what I mean? It has nothing to do with you. All you have control over is how you respond to life and what you choose to do with your time here in this world. You know what I mean? And just know as a content creator that your content might not be worth the time of the person that you're asking to subscribe to you, because they might not even be into cat videos if you're into creating them. They might not even be into creating, like, you know what I mean? It might not be worth their time at all. You know what I mean? Maybe you have a cooking channel on YouTube. You think a cooking channel is for everybody? Like, that's not for me. Like, I wouldn't like that. Like, I'm not into that, So if you're my friend and you're into doing recipes, Why would I subscribe to your channel when me hitting that bell notification, it doesn't bring me any value? Like, I'm not into recipes. You know what I mean? So yeah, like, it's better to ask people, subscribe if it's worth your time, right? If you feel like it. Or you don't even have to mention that, right? Just send the content. Send the content to people. If they feel touched, if their heart is touched by your content, they will subscribe without you having to ask them to. You know what I mean? It's like asking somebody to love you. Like, you think people are going to love you because you ask them to? Like, they'll love you because they find you to be a lovely person, a lovable person. You know what I mean? Like, you think upon request, people just like you. You're going to be liked because people ask you to like you, like, you know what I mean? So this, like I said, like, this is why I don't ask people for an apology when they do things that are wrong, whatever the thing is, because I can't request that you feel sorry. That's weird. Like, you know what I mean? You'll feel sorry when you feel that it's necessary to feel sorry for whatever. And I much rather people apologize because they feel convicted and they feel like apologizing rather than because I demanded an apology. People be like, I demand an apology, or you should be sorry, or you should be. No, like, how are you going to try to dictate how other people should feel? You know what I mean? Well, because what if they don't feel like they should be sorry and then they apologize to you only because you requested an apology rather than them apologizing because they actually felt sorry? Which one do you prefer? You know what I mean? Similarly, when it comes to YouTube, which one do you prefer? People subscribe to your channel because you ask them to, or people subscribe to your channel because they're in love with your content and they really feel like you're providing value because your content matches up with the other content that they already consume? You know what I mean? So it's impossible to know whether or not people like your content unless you have honest conversations with them. You know what I mean? Like, so for entrepreneurs as well, you're telling people, yo, join my business opportunity. How do you know that your business is for everybody until you ask your customer questions? Have you ever seen a business similar to mine's? Like, do you like the business model? What's your favorite thing about this business? You know what I mean? Like, those type of questions, like having honest conversations, you'll get to the nitty gritty on whether or not someone is qualified. Not everybody's qualified to join your business opportunity. Not everybody's qualified to subscribe to your YouTube channel. Not everybody's qualified. You know what I mean? Like, there's going to be content that you produce that some people just won't gravitate towards. And you have to learn how to be okay with that and not be a fucking insecure artist. You know what I mean? Because your insecurity as an artist will prevent you from creating work later on. And then you'll question whether, like, why the hell are you an artist anyways? You're like, oh, nobody likes my stuff. Like, I can't get any subscribers. I can't get this. I can't get that. And then you're going to base your opinion on a focus group of 25 people. And you're going to think that 25 people is the whole entire marketplace. You know what the whole entire marketplace is? 7 billion people in the world. You know what that means to you? That if someone hates your content, so the fuck what? Someone's going to love it. And just because 29, 35, 102 people don't like your content doesn't mean that there's not millions of people that would love to sign up to subscribe to your channel. You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you know that your content's not likable? Just because 39 fucking people said no? So what? Like, knock on 1,000 more doors. Knock on 2,000 more, 5,000, 10,000 more doors, right? And then, and keep getting answers, because life is a numbers game. A percentage of people go to heaven when they die. A percentage of people don't. A percentage of people become millionaires. A percentage of people don't. You know what I'm saying? A percentage of people find inner peace and happiness. Huge percentage of people don't. You know what I mean? But here's the sad thing about life, right? Like, the good things in life, like, heaven, like millions of dollars, like, or hundreds of thousands of dollars. Because, of course, not everybody's going to be a millionaire, but I think the goodness in life, it's available to everybody, but it's not available to the man that says it's not available to him, because he has a victim mentality and he has a list of reasons. Yo, if you ask somebody, yo, do you want to be a millionaire? They'll probably tell you all the reasons why they can't be one. It's like, I didn't ask you why you can't be a millionaire. Like, that has nothing to do with my question. I simply asked you, do you want to be a millionaire? You know what I'm saying? I didn't ask you what stands in your way of being one. I said, do you or do you not want to be? You see how people can't answer a simple question because they're so negative that they only think about everything standing in their way, and they take the obstacle personal. I don't take obstacles personal. I take the goals personal, like the goals that you have in your life. Let those be the skyscraper of your small city. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you think of skyscrapers, it's not that other buildings are not encompassing that skyscraper. It's just that there's one big ass building that you focus on, which is your goal, the things that you want to accomplish before you die. And that means more than everything else that encompassing this encompassing to that building. You know what I mean? Because everything around that building has nothing to do with that building. That is of itself its own entity. You know what I'm saying? That's what you're focusing on, So when you focus on your goals, creation, like, you know what I mean? I don't know if you're a YouTuber, I don't know if you're a musician. Just know that there's gonna come a lot of bullshit with creating music, with getting subscribers, with getting famous, being a millionaire, being successful, and don't take the obstacle personal. Take the goal, because if you start taking the obstacles personal, you'll get overwhelmed by them and stop continuing moving forward, because you're like, yo, because you feel like it shouldn't be so hard. Well, why shouldn't it be hard? Because anything that's worth having is worth struggling for, right? If it's worth having, you know what I mean? People want to get to the top of the mountain, but they don't want to climb. They want to take a helicopter there, or they want to teleport. It's like, bruh, like, you're gonna have to learn how to climb, you know? So don't get discouraged by the people that tell you no, that your artwork sucks, right? Because I know some people that think I'm an incredible musician, and I know a lot of people that think, yeah, it's not for me. And the people that say it's not for me, I don't have the right. I don't feel like I have the right to, well, of course I could if I wanted to, but it just wouldn't be sensible for me to get mad at people. What am I gonna do? Get mad at you because you don't like my content? Like, what am I gonna do? Force you to like my content? Tell you that you should subscribe, you should like it? You know what I mean? Or should I just focus that energy on finding other people that would like my content, right? You know, focus that energy on being a better marketer, being a better distributor of content, like finding 10,000 more people to talk to, right? That should always be the focus. Because if I focus on 4 people that don't like it, because that's what people do, man. You know how many people focus on 50 people that don't like their content? Or sometimes it's only a focus group of 2. Man, my mom doesn't believe in me. My dad doesn't believe in me. The only person you need to believe in you is you. That's it. You know what I mean? Especially if you think your mission is anointed by God, especially if you think that, you know, God already believes in you. He already gave you the A-OK. Like, what are you waiting on? You're waiting on man to believe in you? Like, so what if a bunch of people don't? It's okay. Like, you know what I mean? People won't believe in you until you give them something to believe in. And right now, in your current state, people have nothing to believe in according to their subjective point of view, because they see you in your current form. And a lot of people, they only see you for face value. They think that you're limited to what you are now. They can't see you. They can't see a version of you that transcends beyond what you are now. They only see you for now in the present. And even though you know that you're going to be successful in 5 years, it doesn't mean other people know that. They're not in your head. You know what I mean? And maybe you're a hawk. You know what I mean? Like, maybe you're a bird. Like, you think that worms think the same way birds do? They don't, you know what I'm saying? So there's a good chance you might be a hawk, you might be an eagle, and you're surrounded by a bunch of worms that, like, you know, like, just don't allow people's opinion to matter, yo. So much so that you get a negative reaction to everyone that says something negative to you, as if everyone is supposed to be positive to you, as if everyone's supposed to just subscribe to your channel because you asked them to. You know what I'm saying? So, what's up, Nicole? How you doing, man? Yeah, it's been a long while. Hope you're doing good, man. And, so yeah, man, just don't take these things personal, man, because all these things are going to be the things that distract you from being a creator, from being an artist, from putting out content, putting out videos, editing stuff. And yeah, man, so these are my final thoughts. Hope this inspires you guys, man. Love you guys so much. And yeah, man, I'll see you on the next podcast. One last thing, don't subscribe to my channel. Like, I don't want your subscription unless you want to be subscribing. Like, you make that choice for you. I don't want to make that choice for anybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to put out songs and be like, man, this song is fire. Like, yeah, it's okay for me to think my own song is fire, but I can't decide that for you. Like, once you give it a listen, it's up to you to decide whether or not you like the content that you just consumed. And I can't make that decision for the audience. You know what I mean? Because I'm not the audience. I'm me. I'm the creator. You know what I'm saying? So I could only create and then let other people criticize or critique or whatever, or like or subscribe or share, whatever they feel like doing. Doesn't matter, because, you know, right after that, like, my next goal is to find a whole bunch of more people to show content to, right? And find a better way of marketing, find a better way of getting myself out there. That's what I got to focus on. Because it doesn't matter that my friend from 15 years ago in high school dislikes my music. So the fuck what? You know what I'm saying? I like my music. On top of that, I've met a lot of people that do like it, you know? And another thing, I'm not doing music to be liked or to feel good, to get praise from men. Like, you know, I'm gonna put out music because I believe in what I'm saying in these songs. I believe that I say life-changing shit in a lot of songs. You know what I mean? So it's because of the message that I believe in. There's only one reason that I want to be liked by people. It's not because I'm insecure as hell and I desperately need you to like me. It's because I feel like I have something to say, and once you respect me and you deem me worthy of being able to speak to you, you allow me to speak life into your life, right? And then you allow me to have the words, you know, well, I always have the words, but you allow me to, like, say the words to you, and you'll actually listen to them because why? Because you respect me as a person. You know what I mean? Like, that's the only reason I'm chasing admiration. It's not because I need your admiration. It's because once I get your admiration, I'm going to convert that into me doing these same speeches and seminars, and I'm going to just keep doing them. And once you admire me, like these seminars, these podcasts, these lectures, whatever you want to call them, they will mean that much more to you if it's coming from a person that you personally like and admire. And then from there, man, like I just want to be a vessel, used by God to try to do the right things to the best of my ability for other people, and then let the chips fall where they may. And whoever appreciates it, cool. Whoever doesn't, cool. Life goes on, and move on with my life. You know what I'm saying? So anyways, so it's much better to chase my admiration because you have something to say than to chase it because you're insecure as hell and you don't know how to function without other people liking you. And that's the last note that I want to end on. Love you guys and take care, man.